Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They have one more win than Chicago, and they literally beat Chicago in Week 17, and yet the Niners are on the road and the Bears are at home. Why? Because of an outdated rule that says, well, winning your division is the holy grail. Rewarding an 8-win division winner with a home playoff game is like giving the corner office to the guy who won the office fantasy pool instead of the guy who actually closed the accounts all year.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's going to open up Pandora's box, but I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Time to rise and grind on the early line right here on the Sports Grid Network. It is a Thursday, and our job today is to get you ready for an NFL weekend here of divisional round matchups and also still give you that preview for Monday night's national championship game for the Miami Hurricanes and the Indiana Hoosiers, and a lot of basketball and hot topics mixed in between. And no doubt about it, the NFL is going to take center stage not only on the field but off the field as major coaching hires are happening in the middle of the night. I'm Donnie Rightside. He's Joe Ranieri. And for 2 hours, we got you settled. We got you ready. We got the information.
We do. It's a lot of NFL action, in fact, Donnie, including one team might just be getting healthier at the right time. So a lot to cover here today.
Health is important here. Everybody's usually day to day. Well, professional athletes, you better be on that court. You better be on that field ready to go. But we need the hottest topic of the day to get energized with. What is it, Joe?
Well, Donnie, here on this Thursday now, we just wanted to start today by sending a big shout out to Dante Moore, who just made the smartest business decision of his life. See, the Oregon quarterback announced that he is returning to school for the 2026 season. And let me tell you, as a diehard Jets fan, Donnie, thank goodness. Now, the headlines, of course, are framing this as if, oh, it's the Jets just got screwed again. The Jets are the Jets. Well, yes, we have the number 2 overall pick, and we need a quarterback. This is all true. Moore was supposed to be that quarterback this draft behind, of course, Mr. Mendoza in Indiana. But let's be real. Dante Moore just dodged a huge bullet. He looked at this New York Jets roster and said, you know what? Maybe I'll stay in Eugene. And can you blame him, Donnie? We just watched Moore get absolutely destroyed and beat up by a bunch of 23, 24, and 25-year-olds from Indiana in the college football playoff. They destroyed him. And if he can't handle the Hoosiers pass rush, what makes you think that he would have been put behind a Jets offensive line and had any success? His career would have been over before it started. And here is the truth, Jets fans, and this is what you need to hear. This roster is not ready for a rookie quarterback. We have holes everywhere. And aside from Garrett Wilson, this team is an utmost disaster. I mean, a dumpster fire. Plus, look at the coaching situation. Aaron Glenn entering a make or break year in year 2? Do you really want to draft the future of the franchise and hand him to a lame duck coach? I don't think so. We have seen this movie before. The coach gets fired, the new guy comes in, hates the quarterback, and round we go. So here is the plan. The Jets have the number 2 pick this year, the number 16 pick from the Cowboys and the Colts, thanks, and $80 million in cap space. Fix the roster first. Draft a tackle. Get yourself a defense. Kick the can down the road because let's be honest, the 2026 Jets are going to be horrible one way or the other. So be horrible. Get another high pick. And Arch Manning will be available. Maybe even Julian Sayin will be available. And certainly Dante Moore will be available again next year. So when you get a real offensive line, go back to school, Dante Moore. Wait for the Jets to get it right. The Jets need to grow up. It's a win-win situation for him, unless, of course, the Jets be the Jets and draft Ty Simpson at number 16, Johnny. The Jets are on the clock, but Dante Moore, he is safe for now.
He is safe. And by the way, there's some really good topics in this point, Joe, that you make, because it used to be years ago, just get to the NFL, just get to your second contract. But we actively know general managers in front office are like, you only started like 12 games, man. We'd like to see more from you. So you come back, and also the NIL provides you with not $100,000 of extra money. Let's just call it. Phil Knight called him up and said, we'll give you $6 million this year. And oh yeah, it's not a Tyler Shuck, Chris Weinke situation. Whoa, I'm 25, 26, 27. I better move on. Dante Moore's 20 years old. Next year, he'll be 21 with another 12 or 13 games under his belt, so you can get a real vision of what he's supposed to be. So now the NIL works in the favor of the college kids and also of the NFL. Don't you remember, Joe, in the NBA, we're drafting kids out of high school. We don't even know how they're going to perform. We'd like to see more out of them. Well, if the college quarterbacks are going back for more starts, that's a good thing for the NFL talent evaluators. We can make a sound decision. Is he the number 2 pick, or is he the number 42 pick based on what you see next year? Good topics to start the day for you, Joe. Let's get after it on the early lineup. Harbaugh, New York Giants, middle of the night. The city never sleeps. It looks like we're all but signed on the dotted line. John Harbaugh to become the New York Giants head coach.
Yeah, no, released overnight, right? And listen, we knew behind the scenes the Giants were the front runner, Donnie, and it's nice to see that, common sense prevails here. I think it's the best situation for a guy like Harbaugh. I think it's an organization that has been looking for stability for a long, long time. Ever since Tom Coughlin left in 2015, the Giants have been an unmitigated disaster. Not anymore. I think they got the right guy at the right time.
Yes, they needed stability. That's what the key is. You can sell that to your fan base here. In a couple years, those building blocks that you have may be able to produce in division championships and playoff runs here for the team and the largest market in the country here. Great move for Harbaugh. Let's move over to Dante Moore. Joe just talked about him. He's headed back to school, and that's not a bad thing. Good for Oregon, good for him, make some money, get more starts under your belt so you can be evaluated properly. And also, you did have the choice. Hey, I can go to the Jets here. Maybe next year when I'm more seasoned, there's better quarterbacks there. Maybe I'm number 1 overall at that point, and I get to choose where I go at this point. Dante Moore heads back to Oregon.
Win-win, Donnie. Like I said, Dante Moore gets to go back, gets to bulk up, gets to refine his game, gets to make another $5-6 million in NIL money. And the Jets, well, you can begin filling this roster up because right now there's nobody on it outside of Garrett Wilson. So they're not ready for a 20-year-old rookie quarterback at that, and Dante Moore. Let him win this draft in offseason, spend the money wisely, and then go get your quarterback next year.
How about Ranger Suarez? He goes to fortify that rotation from the Boston Red Sox from the Philadelphia Phillies as a free agent. 5 years, around $130 million. Good move for the Red Sox. We're going to miss Ranger in Philadelphia.
Yeah, but good move for the Red Sox is right. Still plenty left in the tank. One of the better lefties. You know this, Donnie. It's unfortunate that he had to leave the Phillies, but, money talks, right? Everything else walks at this point.
Adam Thielen going to retire from the NFL, and I got to say, he went out a hero, Joe. His receiving prop was 12.5. Your boy DRS was on a Monday night. He got me 25 yards, an absolute hero's welcome to retirement. Thank you, Adam Thielen. Thank you.
Is it bad that I thought he retired 2 years ago? I had no idea, Donnie, but okay. Yeah, good. Adam Thielen. Great career and good. I'm glad he got a chance to hang it up. And listen, at least he got a playoff game, right? And that what he got one more playoff game before his way out.
Travis Hunter didn't get a playoff game. He watched from the sidelines. It's a shame he was injured because that Jacksonville Jaguars team was very good down the stretch, lost a heartbreaker to the Bills. He says he still wants to be a two-way player. They look stacked at wideout. Why not just become a great cornerback in the NFL and concentrate on that and ball out, kid?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Like settle down, guy. Try to be really good at one position before we drop you into two here. Yeah, no. And obviously, Donnie, he's injury prone here. So I don't know that playing two ways really helps the situation in the long term here.
By the way, here's this topic. Yannick Sinner loses a 1-point contest. Is that the Australian Open? Is that the major they're playing right now? Is that what's happening, or am I missing that? What's the AU Open? Australia Open?
That would be the Australian
major?
Open. Yes. Yep. That's a major. Yes. That's a big time major. Yes. Yes. And
Yannick
he
Sinner
lost
goes
again. Poor guy. Poor Sinner. Can't get it right.
Poor Yannick. How about Kayla Harrison? Title defense postponed due to injury. Is that a convenient injury, Joe? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Because she realized she's fighting Amanda Nunes and was like, ow, my neck. Oh, I have to postpone this.
Hey, one superstar leaves Live Golf. That means more money for the rest of us. Dustin Johnson's like, I don't really care about golf. I'll take that money.
Is it bad, Donnie, that I thought Dustin Johnson retired 5 years ago as well?
Adam Thielen and Dustin Johnson coming to a golf course near you sometime, somewhere. We're just getting started on a Thursday. Come on back with us on the early line.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
They have one more win than Chicago, and they literally beat Chicago in Week 17, and yet the Niners are on the road and the Bears are at home. Why? Because of an outdated rule that says, well, winning your division is the holy grail. Rewarding an 8-win division winner with a home playoff game is like giving the corner office to the guy who won the office fantasy pool instead of the guy who actually closed the accounts all year.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Right back at it on the early line. It's a Thursday, people. Rise and grind with us. A lot of great topics, which include your spread lines that you need to know. And of course, we're going to take a long look at the NFL each and every day to make sure you know who's in, who's out, and where those lines are moving. Let's get it started. Saturday night, 8 p.m. in the Pacific Northwest. The 12s will be loud and proud as they take on the San Francisco 49ers. This line, Joe, 7.5, some 8s in the marketplace. You see the graphic about to pop up. It's now down to 7 even across the board as a favorite towards the Seahawks. And a total, which is around that 45.5, has dropped to 44.5. The walking wounded San Francisco heading into the Pacific Northwest, Joe, on a Thursday Give me that spread line here.
Well, it's great news for the 49ers, and it looks like the market reacted accordingly because it appears, just crazy development, right? Fred Warner has been practicing this week, and he looks like he is going to be available for this game. In fact, don't forget that ankle injury in October. We thought we lost him for the rest of the season, and I think the Niners did as well. But he has been a limited participant all week long now in practice, and it does appear as if a return is imminent. But not just him. Matos, their defensive end, also practicing. Ricky Pearsall back on the field. Dominic Pooney, their starting offensive guard, back on the field. Keon White, another linebacker, healthy. D. Winters also back on the field. So it looks like the 49ers are getting a whole lot of reinforcements back for this game. And the market, Donnie, we saw yesterday, nothing but 49er money finally hitting the board. Now flat sevens. Juice to the under in some spots, starting to pop up here.
I got a highest ticket count here on 75% on San Francisco. That money and public money starting to pour in on the 49ers. And why not? Some people are looking at, hey, divisional close matchup here, Joe. I'll take the 7 points. They went into Philadelphia. One is basically a touchdown underdog there outright. We'll see what they can do. But the number 1 seed is Seattle. We'll see how that plays out on Saturday night, Joe. Let's jump to Sunday night here. 6:30 start. The Los Angeles Rams and the Chicago Bears. If we get that updated weather, 18 degrees at kickoff, 12-mile-an-hour winds, but no precipitation in the forecast. A dome team, the Rams, coming into the Windy City to take on Chicago. This line has held firm just about all week long, Joe. -3.5, not to the home team Bears in the higher seed, but to the lower-seeded Los Angeles Rams as the 3.5-point favorite. And a total of 50.5, that opening number, still creeping down at 48.5 now. Rams and Bears, Joe. What's your feelings on the spread line on this Thursday?
Interesting follow here. Number one, we are starting to see 4s pop up throughout the day and throughout the last couple of days here. So, and really 3.5, 4, what is the difference? They're dead numbers anyway at that particular point. But the total is the interesting thing. Donnie, we watched this yesterday. We heard a lot about the weather, and there were some question marks as far as whether DJ Moore, who hasn't been practicing, Odunze hasn't been practicing. We saw that total get hit, saw it as low as 47.5 yesterday. But boy, oh boy, did we start getting all sorts of over money back up. 49s now, once again, popping up in the marketplace. And the train of thought here, I'm guessing, with the market, Donnie, is how in the world is that secondary and that defense of Chicago going to stop? Because Stafford has been practicing, a full participant all week. The finger is not an issue. So how are they going to stop or slow down this offense here of the Rams? Apparently, the market, they're in the middle. Some people think it's going to be a dead under, but that over money continues to hit the marketplace this morning.
Buffalo and Denver. That's going to be the first game on Saturday at 4:30 Eastern. You take a look at the weather temperatures in Denver. Not too bad, around 40 degrees, and also light winds and no precipitation in the forecast. We finally had some movement this week, Joe. The opening numbers had the Buffalo Bills as the favorite at -1.5. Just about every outlet right now is showing the Denver Broncos now have flipped to the favorites at -1.5, a total, which opened up around 46.5. You see that graphic, Joe? Still sitting at 46.5. The number 1 seed Denver Broncos at home, now the favorites in their own building. What's your spread line for this game, Joe?
Well, we were waiting for it, Donnie. All week we've been telling you. At some point, we felt like exactly what happened in the Jacksonville line, that sooner or later Buffalo would be the underdog. And sure enough, came true yesterday. We've learned that Maxwell Harrison, their cornerback, hasn't practiced here. He's got an ankle injury. Jordan Poyer with the hamstring, and we know Terrell Shavers already on IR there with the knee injury. However, Bernard, Dalton Kincaid, Espenza, Matt Milano, Ed Oliver, Greg Rousseau, limited in practice, but it does look like they'll have all of those guys available for this game, but it hasn't stopped the market from betting Denver to a now slight favorite.
Can't wait for these games to take place this weekend. But how about some games that take place tonight in the association? OKC going to go on the road to H-Town to take on the Houston Rockets. This line overnight opened up around a -4. Now we see 4.5s across the board in a total of 222.5. OKC at Houston, Joe. What's the spread line for tonight's action?
Well, we just saw OKC at home handle business against their nemesis there, the San Antonio Spurs, but no rest for the weary here because now they're going to have to go on the road to take on Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets here, who have also gone through some growing pains as of late. I was going to be interested to see where this line goes, but this absolutely could be a future matchup in the postseason here where a chance at a NBA championship might go through these two teams, but the Thunder have owned them. 5 straight is what they're going for here tonight. Can Kevin Durant and Houston stop the bleeding here and get it done at home? I think we're going to see some more Houston money before tip here.
New York Knicks and the Golden State Warriors on the West Coast tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern start. How about the overnight line? Blinked here at -3. Now we're up to 7.5, which lets you know probably going to be multiple players possibly out for the New York Knicks tonight in a total of 226.5, down from 232.5 on the overnight number, Joe. What's that spread line for a little Knicks-Warriors action tonight?
Well, yeah, and it doesn't help the fact that the Knicks lost to the Kings last night. The Sacramento Kings smacked the New York Knicks 112-101. And Donnie, as soon as that game was over overnight, the money came pouring in on Golden State here. I'd be careful, though. I don't know how many Knicks are sitting out with that taste in their mouth about losing to the Sacramento Kings last night.
9 games tonight in the association. We'll get to some of those later, and also our best bets and buy. More NFL hot topics on the way right here on the early line.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
They have one more win than Chicago, and they literally beat Chicago in Week 17, and yet the Niners are on the road and the Bears are at home. Why? Because of an outdated rule that says, well, winning your division is the holy grail. Rewarding an 8-win division winner with a home playoff game is like giving the corner office to the guy who won the office fantasy pool instead of the guy who actually closed the accounts all year.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Back to the NFL we go here on the early line on a Thursday morning edition. It's Donnie Rightside. It is Joe Ranier. Let's get to some of those news topics that you love in the NFL. And sure, we're going to talk a lot about the Giants and Harbaugh and who they're expected to bring in as their offensive coordinator in just a few moments here. But in the meantime, Jaden Daniels is going to participate in an upcoming Saudi Arabia flag football game. He'll be a captain along with Tom Brady. When we told you yesterday, talking some live golf, there's endless monies that the Saudis can give you, I guess, just for a flag football game. And that's why superstars are headed over there. What do the checks look like for this flag football game where they probably have to show up for an hour or two?
why does Tom Brady need, I don't understand, like, how much is too much? Like, I mean, you're talking about gluttonous here. It's unbelievable. And I have to believe the NFL has signed off on this. There's got to be some sort of connection where Goodell has signed off, the owners. Something is going on here, Donnie, because I don't understand why it is. The PGA Tour wanted nothing to do with Saudi money, but now the NFL does? Interesting.
The article states, too, it says when the event was announced in September, various current NFL players were listed. Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Sauce Gardner, Myles Garrett. Like, they're going after the top-level flights, but I don't understand what this actually is. Is it a promotion of the NFL? Is it just like the Saudi kings and princes, like, we have a lot of money, I just want to meet these guys, and we'll set up a football field, just throw the football around with us, and you can go home, we'll pay you endless amount of funds? Like, I don't understand this other than the players going like, how much are they paying? 1 day work? Okay, send me.
It makes no sense to me here, unless there's there's obviously a business angle here. It's got to benefit everybody, and the NFL wouldn't sign off and would not allow it unless they were involved in it.
Everybody's getting checks over there for it. Hey, Dustin Johnson's even getting checks now over there. So there you go. The NFL having a Saudi flag football game. Excitement is on the way. Let's also take a look at Travis Hunter. Excitement was supposed to be on the way for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, no, he went down with an injury. That team kept getting better and better and better. Made a trade at wide receiver for Jacoby Myers. That turned out fantastic. He got extended. Now Travis Hunter's like, hey, even though you got a ton of wide receivers, I'd still like to play both ways here. How about you just play defense, man? You are a great cornerback. Stack that defense. Have some fun over there and just concentrate on defense. There's no reason that you're running over there as a slender wide receiver taking shots when you can deliver the shots, Joe.
Well, I mean, listen, it's one thing if you want to practice that way, and that's the goal is to keep doing it. But let's be realistic. When the season gets here, it didn't look like you know where Jacksonville could have used you? On the defensive side of the ball for that game. That would have been fantastic against the Bills. But unfortunately, you weren't available here. I would be Jacksonville, tread carefully here with him. Make him a one-way superstar, and I think all will be well here in a couple of years.
I agree. How about Kirk Cousins saying, you know what? I'm getting up there in age at the quarterback position. I still think I can play. My team's eliminated. Let me go in the booth and talk a little football with the guys at CBS. Kirk Cousins in the booth.
Ooh, a little audition tape here. I like it, Kirk, but let's face it, the Jets will be calling you here shortly, and they're going to give you an inordinate amount of money as a bridge quarterback. So just wait for it, Donnie, because it's coming.
Yeah, wait for this one, too. How about this statistic? The Houston Texans are fairly new in the NFL, coming in around like the year 2000 or so. The Cardinals, the oldest franchise in the NFL. Do you know both of them have the same amount of playoff wins? The Cardinals, man, the Bidwell family, what an embarrassment.
Yeah, big time embarrassment. And it's just a shame that they're associated with one of the greatest wide receivers ever to play a game in Larry Fitzgerald. And they couldn't get him a championship. But yeah, they deserve a lot of the misery that they're going to continue to go through here.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe you want to, how about just giving your players lunch and don't charge them for it? How about that? That'll go a long way to maybe winning some of those playoff games where the players will fight for you back. Ian Rappaport with a tweet yesterday, quote, Aaron came here to play for Mike, so it would most likely affect his decision. Do you know who was saying that? That's President Art Rooney. So, yes, I thought he would be back if Tomlin is back. Tomlin is out. I think Aaron Rodgers is out too now, Joe.
Yeah, well, and, you know, it's so funny how the Steelers owners are saying, yeah, they expect him to coach again in the near future. What's the near future? Interesting. And what team exactly would he be coaching for? Very interesting.
Hear me out on this, Joe. He takes a year leave from the Steelers only to come back as the Steelers head coach. Come on. You buy into that one? Come on, you have 1 year sabbatical. Relax, recharge those muscles. He gets back up in front of that microphone after the Super Bowl next year and takes back over for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That makes sense, Joe. Come on now. That's how you do it. Recharge yourself for a second career there.
I agree. Yep. Lame duck coach. Bring him in. Perfect.
I'll tell you what's not a lame duck game. The Bills and the Broncos this weekend. The number 1 seed against Josh Allen. Who's standing in his way? We'll go back to find out right here on the early line.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class. Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
They have one more win than Chicago, and they literally beat Chicago in Week 17, and yet the Niners are on the road and the Bears are at home. Why? Because of an outdated rule that says, well, winning your division is the holy grail. Rewarding an 8-win division winner with a home playoff game is like giving the corner office to the guy who won the office fantasy pool instead of the guy who actually closed the accounts all year.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Right back in. Oh, I can't wait for this weekend, Joe. I love football. And look, you know what sometimes you say to yourself, like, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Got knocked out last week by the 49ers. I'm still super pumped for this weekend because I love the game of football. Now, Joe, as a Jets fan, he loves the game of football because he never gets to cheer on his football team. So you sort of live through your B teams that you can watch. And also, it's led to believe handicappers and gamblers alike. Your favorite team, Joe, a lot of the times is just the team you bet on that night or day that you could cheer as if they're your own because you have a vested interest. That vested interest could be in the Buffalo Bills or the Denver Broncos. We told you during Spreadlines. Joe explained it well. Hey, the Buffalo Bills, the favorites to start the week. Now the Denver Broncos, the favorites, at -1.5 and a total of 46.5. Joe, when I looked at the line when it opened up the week, and again, it's only a movement from 1.5 to 1.5. I get it. But I thought it was a real disrespectful line to the Broncos, but also a stone-cold line for the Buffalo Bills. Now that we see the Denver Broncos as the favorite, does it change your opinion on this game at all, or you got this mapped out one way or another? Don't you worry about that spread.
To me, this is I'm going to wait till the very last minute, Donnie, to bet this game like I did last week with the Jacksonville game, because I did feel like Jacksonville money would come rolling in. And I think now Buffalo, like last week, is a great teaser leg here for this weekend, especially if you like Seattle to beat the 49ers, being able to get them down to -1 right now and maybe get at least Buffalo now, Donnie, at 1.5 over a touchdown. I think that's the way to look at it. I don't know that the Buffalo money is going to come back in simply because we don't know really how healthy this team is. Question marks all over the place on the wide receiver spot. But is Ed Oliver healthy enough to go again, right? Is Milano, are the linebackers, Terrell Bernard, are these guys healthy enough to give this thing a go? Ultimately, if they are, Donnie, the question everyone has to ask is, who do you trust more to win a game in the fourth quarter with everything on the line? Bo Nix or Josh Allen? That's how you pick this game.
I am fascinated to watch it play out, too, and also understand this. Unique circumstances on these Saturday games, Joe. You saw the San Francisco 49ers go into Philadelphia. Hard-fought game all the way through, pull it out on the last play of the game. Now you got to travel back home. Then you got to travel to Seattle. And oh, yeah, by the way, Seattle's been rested and waiting here with the bye week. It's the same thing with the Denver Broncos. And also, Joe, the final week of the season, the Broncos were at home and had to win, but they were at home. They didn't even have to take a plane ride back from, let's just say, Houston. They were in Denver, won that football game, took a bye week, and back home here. We'll see how that much makes a difference because you saw how hard fought that game also was in Jacksonville. Player props in this game at the quarterback position, Joe. They haven't moved. It's still 210.5 as a passing prop for both of these quarterbacks, Bo Nix and Josh Allen. I'm interested to see what I get out of Bo Nix because you know in order for the Bills to win, it's Josh Allen and nobody else, Joe.
It really is. And again, who is he going to be throwing the ball to is my question. So you got Coleman, you got Cooks now. Obviously, Shakir was fantastic last week. The tight ends. Will that be enough? And I think maybe the bigger question is, can they get something going on the ground? We didn't think they would be able to against Jacksonville because Jacksonville was the #1 defense against the rush this year. You know, Denver blitzes all over the place here. I think they're going to have to be able to run the ball to have any success in the passing game here. I expect Josh Allen to have less passing, less attempts, less yards in this game than he did against Jacksonville. I think the running game is going to be more front and center.
Yeah, James Cook and Josh Allen in that touchdown market here, both listed at -105 apiece. The favorite in the clubhouse right now, you see R.J. Harvey at a -135 price. Then Sutton, the wide receiver, starts off the plus money numbers at a 2-to-1 price. I'd see that plus 210 on that marker. And look, if you said, Johnny, just take two guys, Cook and Allen, one of those two are going to score. You basically push. I think both of them score a touchdown, though. I do.
Yeah, Kincaid. I think the tight ends also probably not a bad look in there, and even listen, even on the rushing side there for the Broncos, right? R.J. Harvey has got to be a guy you consider for an anytime touchdown, right? Who are they giving the ball to in the red zone here? It's not like Buffalo is some sort of stopping, big time rushing defense. He's going to get his yards in this game.
He is. Let's flip it over to the 6:30 game on Sunday night. That's the Los Angeles Rams, and it is the Chicago Bears. 3.5s across the board as a favorite towards the Los Angeles Rams, and that total of 48.5. You wondered last week any lingering effects for Matthew Stafford, banging that throwing hand on a helmet, injuring a finger, which turned out to not be broken, which was great. I see the practice reports from yesterday on a Wednesday. Matthew Stafford, full practice, full go this week, but they are a dome team going outdoors against the Cardiac Bears. Cold weather temperatures expected in Chicago. The Dogs are the Bears here, Joe. How about that?
Yeah, I think this is I think the Rams are going to have a lot of success here. It looks like they're going to get their top offensive lineman back in Kevin Dotson. They're also going to get Terrence Ferguson back, one of their tight ends that could absolutely stretch the field. That means full complement of weapons, no injury to the finger. He's been a full participant, Stafford, all week long. I don't care what the weather is. This feels like the Rams are going to be able to pick the number that they want to put on the board in this game.
I'm fascinated by this game. I am, because it is that cold weather out there, but a dominant offense for the Rams. You know that Chicago's Bears defense stinks. And also, how many times can you get yourself down in a football game and come back? The competition only gets stiffer the more you move on in the playoffs. So see, the Bears can come up. And again, technically, they don't have to win the game. Like, they could lose 23-20, still get the cover with the Chicago Bears. But if we are looking at some of those props, particularly at the quarterback position, Matthew Stafford, 269.5, not much movement this week on his passing prop. And Caleb Williams at 220.5. I look at this game and say, yes, it is cold weather. There's no way the Bears win this game unless Caleb Williams goes over 220.5. It's almost a correlation to me. Hey, Caleb had 100. Yeah, what does that mean? They ran for 275 yards. Stop it. Caleb's got to be a god in this game if they want to beat the Rams. If I'm looking at a passer prop, he's got to go over 220.5.
And a lot of that, Donnie, is going to be in the second half because likely they will be trailing in this game like they often do. I mean, it's not a wonder, or it shouldn't be a shock to anybody if all of a sudden, come halftime, they're down a score or, maybe 9 points, 10 points, something along that, and where they're going to have to abandon the run and they're going to have to allow him to throw the ball around the field. And that's what it could take here to get it done. So I'm with you. I think the chance of anybody going over might very well be Caleb Williams here.
Take a look at some of these anytime touchdown props in this game, Joe. If I'm going to do the double up here at the running back position, I'll go the Chicago Bears side. DeAndre Swift plus 145, Kyle Monangai at a plus 220. If you want to flip that over from me, Joe, and go with the Rams, Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, both of those guys plus money prices as well. A lot of different ways to go because I do expect, I don't know if we get 60 points in this game, but even though it's cold weather, these two teams should move the football.
Again, we mentioned it yesterday. It's Bears repeating. The Bears just came off a game in which the Packers, in which they allowed 4 different Packer receivers to score a touchdown in that game. Give Puka Nacua at minus 115. Yeah, Donnie, I'm good. I'll pay the 15. I'm good. No problem. Puka Nacua will find the end zone in this game.
Puka, by the way, 98.5 is his receiving prop. Devontae Adams, 53.5. The leader now looks like Colson has really settled in as that number one guy for the Chicago Bears. He's 55.5, but then you get cheap numbers. Roma Dunze, 35.5. Luther Burden, 38.5. DJ Moore, 28.5. Cole Kmet, 10.5 as well. By the way, Joe, city of Chicago, it's cold this time of year. Did you know that the Chicago Bears are using that now to their advantage? Yeah, they can practice indoors, but Ben Johnson has been making the Bears practice in the cold without heaters this season. That's what you should be doing. Why would you Chicago be playing in, practicing in 75-degree temperatures when you know it's going to be 20 degrees? Good gamesmanship there by Ben Johnson.
Very good and smart, actually, because it's not just this week. He's been doing it the whole season there, Donnie. So kudos to him. I mean, listen, if you're the Bears and you're going to have a home playoff game, you want every advantage humanly possible. And it looks like they might have one against the Rams in this one with the weather.
Loud crowd, cold weather temperatures, dome team going outdoors. We'll see if the Chicago Bears can make it into the NFC Championship game with a victory over the Los Angeles Rams. We got more news and notes in college football. Dante Moore and what that means for the New York Jets next.
It's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
OK Dubs has to go back to his roots. I'm not a Jets fan, I'm not a Giants fan, and neither one of those teams even play in New York. But I'm a New Yorker through and through, despite where my mail gets sent. And I will not stand for the Jets to be dragged through the mud in this way. Not gonna happen. So Dante Moore, if you do leave, you should be so lucky to fly the plane.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The Steelers get their touchdown, and they miss the extra point. It was Lamar Jackson who made the plays to get the Ravens into what should have been easy field goal territory. So explain to me how in the world we can look at last night's game as, well, there you go, can't trust Lamar Jackson.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Used to be the minute that you were a first-round draft pick, your coach would sit you down in college, Joe Ranieri, and tell you, move on. It's time to go. This is what we got you here for. Now you're going to be a professional and make money in the biggest spotlight you can possibly get in the NFL, and particularly the quarterbacks who get overdrafted, which means like, hey, strike while the iron's hot. If you're a top 5 draft pick, what are you waiting for? But now there are extenuating circumstances like the NIL, where instead of going back to college, got you an extra meal at the training table, and maybe you can work on getting a second BA or whatever you wanted to do. Now you can actually get $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, maybe even $10 million to go back to your university. And you take a look here at the Oregon Ducks. That's exactly what's going on with Dante Moore. He's saying no to the Jets and possibly the number 2 pick to go back to Oregon. He's 20 years old. He'll get another 12 to 13 starts under his belt in a good offensive structure that's going to let him actually mature at the college game before going pro with more options. I'll ask you this question, Joe. Dante Moore, did he make the right decision for himself here?
Absolutely, he did. It's a win-win, I think, for the Jets, who would likely have the option if he would have declared himself eligible. They likely would have gone for Dante Moore here because he, without a doubt, was going to be at the very least a top 10 draft pick. But I think he made the right decision here because a team that would draft you this year is likely not a quarterback away from winning anything. So the fact that you can make $4 to $6 million in NIL money going back to Oregon, and Donnie, let's face it, you're going to be competing for a national championship again next year here. So I don't see how Dan Lanning and company, having him back, they're going to be one of the top 5 teams, the favorites to win a national championship. So it's a win-win for the kid. He's going to get drafted. He's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the draft if all goes well. I wouldn't have wanted to end my college career head into the draft after what Indiana put me through there as my last college game on film. So I think it's a win-win for him.
It's very interesting to me, too, because it also shows an understanding from the player himself and maybe the people around him saying, the NFL is always going to be there for you. Let's take the best step forward for the NFL for you and your career. Because honestly, if you sat around your agents like, kid, this is the time. Mendoza's going to be 1. You're the second quarterback on the board. You're never going to be better. Even though it doesn't place you in a good situation, go get your money and see where it goes. As opposed to you're 20. Oh, yeah, in the NFL, like it's not a running back position. Like you better make all the money you can by 26 because you're going to fall off a cliff. By 26, you're just learning the game in the NFL as a quarterback. By 36, you could still be an all-pro, making multiple Super Bowl runs until you're 40 years old if you're good enough here. I like the decision by Dante Moore. Go back to college. It'll help the evaluation process. And maybe he's just not ready to be a pro at 20 years old. How about Dylan Raiola? Looks like he wants to be a pro because he wants to be Patrick Mahomes. He was at Nebraska. Now he's at Oregon. Oh, yeah, now to back up Dante Moore at Oregon in 2026. How about this pipeline for the Ducks convincing top players to come to the school, even if they don't start at the quarterback position?
Well, listen, Dante Moore started at UCLA with Chip Kelly. That didn't work out. He leaves and spends a year behind Dylan Gabriel at Oregon. Not a bad way to go. Donnie, used to be the way it went, right? You would be able to sit behind upperclassmen, learn the game, and then, your time would come as either as a sophomore, a junior, or a senior, right? This is how it used to come. That's exactly what Dante Moore did. He's only 20 years old, like you said. This kid's sitting a year behind him, and then, if you're Oregon, you don't have to look for a quarterback in the NIL portal, do you? You got one in-house. So I think it's, again, another one of these situations where Oregon seems to be doing it the right way.
Yeah, looks like they are. And also, that's going to shake up things in the NFL. You probably figured 1 and 2 would be Mendoza and also Dante Moore. Dante Moore now off the board opens things up here. So let's take a look at maybe a mock draft now that you update and say, well, there's no more in the draft. Mendoza goes 1. Maybe moves up Arvell Reese there in that Jets position if they want to get a star linebacker, Ruben Bain, Carnell Tate, a lot more options here. So the New York Jets, let's focus on them at this point now, Joe, because everybody needs a quarterback. The Jets do need a quarterback. They probably would have taken Dante Moore as their quarterback if they liked it or not, because the theory behind that is strike while the iron's hot with the quarterback. You should be expecting to draft 1 or 2 every year. If you have a quarterback that's an NFL grade and figures a first-round draft pick, you have to take him. So now, Joe, what's next for the New York Jets?
Well, listen, the only thing the Jets lose here is maybe a little bit of value with the number 2 pick, because outside of Mendoza, who is, as we go on here, looks like the absolute, lock of the century here to go to the Raiders. There wasn't any other quarterback coming out this year that had one of those top 5 grades, right? I mean, Ty Simpson, it was in the conversation, but Ty Simpson has less college starts and experience than Dante Moore does. And he didn't play great also down the stretch against Indiana. So he's not the end. The only guy going with surefire number 1 capability or number 2 is Mendoza. So the Jets might not get as much if somebody wanted to move up to get a quarterback like Moore. They might have lost a little value on that number 2 pick. But when you have so many holes to fill, Donnie, the number 2 pick, get your anchor on the offensive line. Get the best tackle in the draft. Get the best edge. Fill those positions that you absolutely need to be successful in the future.
Yeah, just looking at this one mock draft here. Mendoza 1, Reese 2, Bain 3, Tate 4, Tyson 5. Then the first offensive line shows up there from Fano from Utah, the offensive tackle, and away you go. Hey, Jets, I got an idea for it. Don't draft Jeremiah Love with the number 2 pick here. Make the smart move, Joe. You stay, maybe you take Ruben Bain as an edge pass rusher here, or you take the best player on the board, and if somebody gives you a package that you can't pass up, you're not winning anything next year or the year after that. Stack those draft picks, get that team ready to go. That's the best case scenario here for the New York Jets. So what do you think about that, though? Like, do you think the Jets probably should trade that pick, or just take the best player available and then just keep rolling with it?
Yeah, like I had mentioned, Donnie, likely the Jets will screw this up and take Ty Simpson, and that'll be the end of that. But if I'm the Jets, I'm building the offensive line out. You need to build up that offensive line because you're going to be drafting in the top 2 or 3 next year has way more NFL eligible quarterbacks than this year. So build everything else around it first, then go get your quarterback next year.
Marcus Freeman in the news again, not for getting in a fight at a wrestling match, for maybe being a head coach once again in the NFL. Those talks are up. NBA topics next. Come on back.
It's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
OK Dubs has to go back to his roots. I'm not a Jets fan, I'm not a Giants fan, and neither one of those teams even play in New York. But I'm a New Yorker through and through, despite where my mail gets sent. And I will not stand for the Jets to be dragged through the mud in this way. Not gonna happen. So Dante Moore, if you do leave, you should be so lucky to fly the plane.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get real.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Steelers get their touchdown, and they miss the extra point. It was Lamar Jackson who made the plays to get the Ravens into what should have been easy field goal territory. So explain to me how in the world we can look at last night's game as, well, there you go, can't trust Lamar Jackson.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
NBA action. Let's get to the hardwood tonight. Now, last night, the Dallas Mavericks did not help me out yesterday. Cooper Flagg decided he's going to twist his ankle, and away they went with a Denver Nuggets win on the road. But tonight is a new night. But let's get to some of the news and notes here coming out. Shams Charania, a tweet from yesterday. How about this? New Washington Wizards star Trae Young is still recovering from MCL and quad injuries on the same leg and will be reevaluated after mid-February All-Star break. The Wizards are taking a cautious approach with their injuries with a new trade acquisition. I read this as, we don't want to win any games. We don't want him on the court. We don't want him to help our team at all, so we can get a better ping-pong position for next year. Then we'll pick up his option or pay him more money, and we'll be a better team here. Since when does he have MCL and quad injuries here on the same leg to keep him out at least another month?
Listen, they could throw him out on the court. They're still not winning games. I don't know who we're kidding. He is not going to help this team. And now all they've done is, don't forget, because they lost they lost CJ McCollum into trade. They're already playing for Atlanta, by the way. They've already contributed to the Atlanta Hawks. In the meantime, all Washington has now is they're shorthanded. They're going to be shorthanded now the rest of the way. So kudos. But if the tank is on, the tank is on. I guess there's no real reason to bring him back anytime soon.
Who's even playing now for the Memphis Grizzlies? They want to get rid of some of their superstars. Now they're saying the Zach Edey will be reevaluated in 6 weeks as he continues to recover from a stress reaction in his left ankle, initially diagnosed on December 11th. Oh, and by the way, Scottie Pippen Jr. and Brandon Clark expected to return in 4 to 6 weeks. Everybody's sitting out 6 weeks in Memphis.
Yeah, and likely John Morant gone. Maybe, Jaren Jackson also gone. It's time to rebuild. But they got a lot of really good young players, and Zach Edey will be the cornerstone of what they're doing moving forward. They are a different team with that guy out on the court. So if they can get him back, they'll be all right in the future.
Retiring jersey numbers from professional athletes and franchises is the stupidest thing we do in sports. Operating like you're only going to be around for 30 or 40 years, so retire everybody's number. Why am I bringing this up here? Sometimes you say like, wow, okay, the Yankees retired Derek Jeter's number, which I think is ridiculous. No number should ever get retired anywhere. But how about this one? The Charlotte Hornets are retiring Del Curry's number 30 jersey on March 19th. Why? Because he was the 6th man of the year one year. So this shows you two things: how ridiculously poorly operated the Charlotte Hornets are, because maybe one of their best players in history is Del Curry, whose best job was making a son called Steph Curry. He's getting his number in the rafters. You've got to be kidding me. This is ridiculous. Very good player, yes. Hall of Fame worthy, not for me. Retiring your jersey, which is supposed to be left up there with the guys like Michael Jordan, nonsense, Joe.
Yeah, well, that just tells you that there's not a long, illustrious history of great players with the Charlotte Hornets, and that's they can't. They got to be like everyone else. Got to retire somebody's number. We can't be the only NBA team that doesn't have a number up in the rafters, right? So yeah, okay, I guess, but that just doesn't say much for the franchise. It doesn't.
It doesn't even. Usually, you do this like, okay, Allen Iverson's coming back to the Sixers. We're going to raise his number to the banner, which again, I think every number retired is ridiculous. But at least that, like, hey, the fan, let's show up. And like, are people buying tickets? Like, they have to be there in Charlotte to watch Del Curry's jersey into the rafters? It almost seems like The Onion wrote this article. Like, again, good player in the NBA. Hey, he just got his number up there. But what did he do? He's the all-time leading scorer in the history of the NBA. Yeah, he should be up there at this point. He won 13 rings in 15 years. Yeah, put him up there. Oh, what did Del Curry do? Oh, you remember that 1994 season where he was the best sixth man in the NBA? I mean, the NBA drives me nuts more than any other league because of stuff like this. And you might even say, like, Donnie, why do you get so worked up? I only get worked up at stupid things that happen in the sports landscape, and the NBA continues with their stupidity just like this.
Yeah, again, it's, you try to keep up with the Joneses, right? And it's like, okay, listen, why don't they just go ahead and, I don't know, retire Michael Jordan's number, right? I mean, yes. They're affiliated with him, right? Why not? So, like, here's the once owner. Why not? Go ahead. Everyone else does. So, yeah, go ahead and do that. Unreal.
By the way, Joe, why did the Miami Heat retire Michael Jordan's number? And I think the Miami Heat actually retired Dan Marino's number. Is that true as well? What are you doing down there in the Kaseya Center down in South Florida, Joe? Nonsense.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely absurdness. Yes, but hey, they didn't even retire Shaq's number, even though he played here for what, 2 years? That was it. But yeah, did win a championship, so I guess there's
By
that.
the way, remember when Kobe Bryant passed away, the Dallas Mavericks like, we're going to retire Kobe Bryant's jersey, and the NBA is like, slow your roll down there. Like, this is a tragic situation. He is a Los Angeles Laker. You do not have to retire his jersey from another organization. Just the way it is. Hour number 2 is on the way next, right here on the Sports Grid Network.